hello Valerie, hello Jonathan.
Hi.
I'm really, really, really pleased to meet you because I'm a huge fan of your work and I loved Battle of the Sexes, which is not only a movie about sports but also about fairness. I think it was like very, very moving and super inspiring and also super fun. So
Good. Okay. Well,
We'll take that. Yeah, that's great.
So thank you very much. First of all, why do a movie about that story? Was it something you always wanted to do?
well, we remember the event from when we were young, but it felt like a good time to tell it again. You know, we had the election with Hillary Clinton versus a man, and you know, we had no idea how much sexism would be in the news. We began in 2015, but it seems that every day now there's a new story about some issue with a man and a woman.
This story will always be relevant because I don't think that the battle of the sexes is going away. You know, I think as we're seeing now in the news, there's just still so many issues that women face, and I think fairness in general. I like that you say it was about fairness because I think that's one of the things Billie Jean really cares about is just fairness across the board for everyone. So I think that trying to create true equality is never going to be, it's just a perpetual fight.
And it's good for men and women. I mean, I think it's not good for men to try and dominate.
Yeah, no, there'd be a better world if we could just, you know, treat everybody fairly.
Yes, of course. Did you meet Billie Jean King and Bobby Briggs before making the movie?
Well, Bobby passed away many years ago.
Oh my God, I
So
didn't
he-
know.
No, yeah,
Okay.
but
95.
yeah, but
Really? Okay.
his trainer is still alive. So,
Okay.
So the man who taught Bobby and worked with him was a consultant
And
on the movie,
a close friend
and
of Bobby's.
he worked with Steve
Okay.
Carell. But
And then
then
Billie Jean was involved from the beginning of the project, and then you know, throughout, but probably mostly in the writing of the script, and then in the finishing of the movie, she came in. You know, we showed her rough cuts of the movie, and but you know, she worked with Emma when Emma first started preparing for the role. She met with Billie Jean a number of times, and so she was very involved, and she's very behind the movie now, which is great.
What were her reactions when she saw the movie?
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was
It was
very
hard
hard
for
for
her,
her. You know,
yeah.
I mean, she didn't even know what to say because this was a very difficult period in her life. So it really wasn't until she saw the movie with an audience and she could feel the love that people
and
had.
see it through their eyes.
Yeah,
You know?
she's been great.
She's been on the press tour with us, and
Really?
yeah, she's. I think she's enjoying. You know, it's nice for her to feel like now there's other generations, younger generations, will get to know her story and you know what she created. I mean, she's really. I think Serena and Venus Williams thank Billie Jean. They know what she did for them and all the women in tennis. At least tennis is one of the better sports in terms of parity.
Sure, and that's cool because I didn't know about that story, so
Right.
Yeah.
now I
No.
do, and I'm really pleased. Also, I'm super in love with Emma Stone for years now.
Yes.
I think she's an amazing actress, and she really transformed into Billie Jean King. Were her and Steve Carell your first choices for the cast?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started on the project in February of 2015, and they were attached in March of 2000.
Yeah,
so
we
they
grabbed
were
them very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've wanted to work with Steve again ever since Little Miss Sunshine, and we talked to Emma a few years ago, and this seemed like the perfect time.
I heard that in 1973, when the final match happened, 90 millions of people were actually watching the match, so that's huge.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere in an interview that you said you filmed this scene just like if it was a music video.
Right.
Can you tell me more about that? Like, how was it to film such an event?
We wanted to get the tennis right. It's very hard to do tennis in movies. So we treated it almost like a dance, where we wanted to see the whole court and see both players and the way they interacted.
kind of the way tennis is, broadcast now today, but just where we're not cutting it up. Like, I think we talked about it like the old musicals, because they would use, longer shots so you could see the real dance happening. And we felt the same way about the tennis playing, that we didn't want to cut it up so much, because it's a beautiful thing to watch. And there were a lot of reasons why we, wanted to feel the spectacle of it, and to be reminded that 90 million people are watching it. It's a broadcast. It's going out there to the world.
And all the tennis you see is real tennis. There's no computer-generated balls. It's all actual
Real
play.
Playing.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah. So, no, it was.
That was important to us. I mean, it's a film about Billie Jean King, who's one of the greatest women players ever. And so we just felt like the tennis has to be accurate, it has to be, 1973 style playing. And we did try to duplicate some of the actual points from the original match. So, for tennis players, I think a lot of people in the tennis world were happy to see that we had real tennis playing in the movie. And
I guess so. And I found Steve Carell super fun, as usual. How is it to work with him? Is he always making jokes, as I guess he was? Or
Well, it's funny. Steve is very nice and friendly, but he doesn't joke that much. He on the set, he'll improvise a little bit, and that's always incredible. And some of his improvisations are very funny. There are moments in the film that he improvised.
But he's really not. I mean, he's a serious actor, and he really likes to work hard and get it right. So even on Little Miss Sunshine, it wasn't like he's joking around. It's funny. People always ask us that, and it's like, well, no, he doesn't really make a lot of jokes. When he does, it's very funny. But he
saves them for the right moment.
Yeah.
But he's just
he's
a real professional, and he wants to give a very complex performance. He doesn't want just to be a comedian. He wants to be a dramatic actor.
He is a dramatic
actor.
I mean, he's always been a great actor. I think a lot of times actors that can do comedy are really good at drama too. They just have a really great innate sense of timing and character.
if there was one thing you would wish people would take away from the movie, what would it be?
It's different. We answer this probably different every time, because there isn't really one message. But I think one thing that we were struck by was Billie Jean's the way that she approaches people she disagrees with, the fact that she's very civil and that she knows her argument and she confronts the person with respect. And I think that has been lost a little bit in our culture anyway. So we like to remind people that you don't have to hate your opponent. That it's important to see them as a person and a human being, and respect them in order to talk to them, and have a conversation about something, dialogue, rather than just a shouting match. That's one thing.
That's a beautiful message. Thank you.
Thank you.
T'as bien aimé cette vidéo, non? Mettez un pouce bleu, par exemple, ou un pouce violet. Abonne-toi. Clique. Clique. Ouais.